This morning I checked with one Muslim colleague who is a Muslim from Bangladesh. He shared with me something about money, how Muslims give money to the mosque or to the poor. What he said is basically, I summarize, if it's not according to the majority Muslims practice, someone please let me know. What he said is, if a Muslim is in debt himself, for example, he's paying a car loan or house loan, he will not be required to donate money to the mosque or to give the poor. He has to settle his own loans first. That's the first thing. Second thing is, for those who are not in debt and after all the daily necessities or all their expenditures, if they have leftover, if they have extra money, and then out of this money, they're supposed or required somehow to give 2.5% of the extra money they have, not to the mosque directly, but to the church, because their law, I think it's very similar to what Jesus said: don't let your good deeds be done in front of men. So these guys who have a bit extra, they're supposed to give 2.5% of their extra to the poor directly and not to the mosque. I thought that's very effective to help the poor because, each of us has some poor around us, so each of us can help the poor. But if we give the money to the organization, the leaders of the organization, they tend to make mistakes or, abuse or misuse that. Then another thing, for those who have extra, actually, there are two conditions. Only if they hold the extra money for 1 year and more, and also this extra has to be amount more than certain amount of gold. They use current gold price to compare. So even for these so-called rich people who have leftover extra money, they have to hold money for 1 year, and the amount has to be more than certain weight of gold. Only then they're supposed to, above all this, they're supposed to give out 2.5% directly to the poor. Guys, if you hear what I said just now, I think as far as, if this Christianity is really about tithe and tithing, I think I would rather be a Muslim, You look at their teaching, they're the ones really helping the poor. Yeah, I'm serious. But thank God, the Bible doesn't teach Christians to tithe, and Jesus Christ didn't teach. His apostles didn't teach. I'm not a historian. I don't know when this tithe or tithing system started, but I clearly see it's a scam, and there's so much abuse. Actually, I don't even mind if those rich people, they abuse money, but what hurts my conscience so much is that such a system hurts, presses, harasses, robs the poor. All right, the poor are the ones we are supposed to help. We are supposed to give money to, but instead, this tithe and tithing system, they openly, gently, and secretly, softly robbed these poor people. That's why I'm speaking up against, guys. Hear what I have to say about this tithe system. Christians, if your church is doing this tithe and tithing system, you all should be very ashamed. And you just hear what I said about Muslims. You guys say, your Christ is a true son of God, and yet the way you handle money, the way you help the poor, is so much inferior, so much corrupt compared with Muslim brothers. All right, guys, I'm not lying. I checked this. Someone in the comment section actually give this comment. I didn't really go and study, but today I got a chance to check with a Muslim friend, a colleague actually. He I actually triple checked with him, and he told me that's a practice. You just compare with this tithing system. You see how evil, how corrupt those churches who practice tithe can be. In fact, they are very corrupt, those who practice tithe and tithing system. Guys, I'm not fighting a war in the air. I'm fighting a real war. I need your support. If you have a heart for truth and you have a heart for the poor, you need to stand up with me. Subscribe, spread the message. At least, you yourself hear the message and try to understand and absorb. God bless you and open your eyes to see the truth. Because I can see if we keep on doing this without exposing the tithe teaching in the churches, in front of men we are in shame actually. In front of other religion we are very ashamed actually. Can you imagine in front of God? Can we honestly stand before the holy God one day, knowing that we have used this tithe to rob the poor? You think God will be pleased to accept you?